everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Creed. The fragrance we're going to touch upon today is called Viking. Now Viking was released, again, this year, 2017, most recently released. It's one of their first major fragrances that they've done in a while. I believe the last two were Aventus and it may have been Aventus and Royal Oud, because I remember specifically purchasing Royal Oud when it came out. Now, let me start with a preface. I am a huge Creed fanboy. I love Creed. I love the house of Creed as far as fragrances go. I have over $5,000 worth of Creed fragrances, and I plan to purchase another couple thousand worth of Creed fragrances. There's like 4 or 5 off the top of my head that I plan on purchasing. You know, Green Irish Tweed I've got. You know, I've got Tabarome, Virgin Island Water, obviously Aventus, you know, the flacons because I couldn't get them in the normal bottles, so I got Spice and Wood, also Jardin Amalfi. So I am a huge Creed fanboy. I've got a lot of Creed fragrances, and I really want to give you and impress that before we go ahead and get started into this video. All right? So it's available in 2 main sizes. It's a 50 milliliter and a 100 milliliter, which is not really like most of the Creed sizes, but anyways, they're there. The 50 milliliter is going to run you about $350, I believe, and the 100 milliliter is going to run you $495. So basically, $500 for the 100 milliliter. It's a pricey fellow. It's a pricey fellow, right? So let's get right into the actual review. Now, the notes of this fragrance are listed on screen. What I get when I spray this fragrance immediately is a mix of pepper and like a zesty, lemony type of a vibe. That begins and stays on the fragrance for roughly about 10 minutes, but you start to get more of a rosy type of a smell, you start to get more of a woodsy type of a smell, mixing in with that peppery type vibe. Rose, woodsy, and I believe that's sandalwood, and a minty type of vibe that comes up with it. It sort of reminds me slightly like MI, more like Creed's Spice and Wood. That's essentially what this fragrance reminds me of. At the end of the day, pleasant smelling scent. That said, I will tell you that this scent disappointed me. It disappointed me because of the fact that it was different than what I was expecting. I had compiled a review that I actually ended up deleting only because there was still a lingering question in my mind that I couldn't quite put my finger on. And that was, this is like the first release that I've come across that it feels like they didn't really match what the name was going out to be or trying to be. For example, Original Vetiver, it's a take on vetiver, right? Original Santal, it's a take on sandalwood. Aventus, it's like Aventus was wholly unique. It's almost like Napoleon-ish, conquering. It's very out there. I really love something like Aventus. Millésime Imperial, love it. Virgin Island Water, coconuts. You know, the Caribbean, it's absolutely fantastic. Green Irish Tweed, the green rolling hills. Viking, on the other hand, no, it does not remind me, it does not smell like anything that I thought that it would smell like. And at best, it's a pleasant smelling scent, but there is really nothing spectacular about it. And I guess you could say it's almost my fault that I fell for hype. I mean, in many accounts, I am the anti-hype guy. I really do not buy into the excitement over fragrances as much, only because I'm really just interested in getting my nose on them. And this time, I kind of fell for the hype of a fragrance and fell into the world of it, and then I was disappointed when it came out. I was disappointed only because if I'm looking at the Creed fragrances, I don't plan on buying this at all. I did my review off of samples of Creed Viking that I got, but I do not plan on buying this scent. I still plan on buying those other Creeds that are out there that I've been meaning to add to my list. Original Vetiver, Original Santal, Arolfa, There's actually a couple more. I think I wanted to buy a full bottle of Mayfair, and there's a couple more creeds that in my head that I still want to kind of round. Oh yes, Royal Water as well too. I gave away my Princess D version of Royal Water, and I wanted the more modern version, which was the sharper, more masculine version of it. So yes, and even then, I still would not buy Viking over any of those fragrances. In fact, over all the creeds, including the bottles that I have, it would remain firmly down under there. So what I'm trying to say is, amongst creeds, I would place it lower than a lot of the creeds. It wouldn't even crack my top 10, top 15 maybe, creeds that are out there. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it still is a pleasant smelling scent. It is a nice smelling scent. It's not saying that it smells bad. It's a nice smelling scent, but it just does not live up to what I consider like the creed freshness, the creed standards. That's just my opinion on it. Now, spray-wise, I go about 2-3 sprays of this sucker. You can go a little bit more. It is a fresher fragrance. You're not going to choke anyone out. I think it's a long-lasting scent, or decently lasting scent at least. I'm getting anywhere between 5 and 7 hours. I will caution you though, I generally tend to get decent performance with creeds, whereas other people have reported horrific performance with creeds. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping around. Compliment-wise goes, I did not get any compliments with this one, but I had people smell it and they thought that it smelled fresh. They thought that it smelled nice, but they weren't, dropping panties, and they weren't just going gaga over the actual scent. So keep that in mind. Season-wise and when you would wear it, I think you can wear this as an all-around, everyday type of a fragrance. And the season-wise, I think any season it'll do perfectly fine in. So yeah, just take that with a grain of salt. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating 3 out of 5 stars. Now, I was tempted to give it 2.5 out of 5 stars, and let me tell you why. The reason why it's really knocked down is not that it's a bad scent, but that price tag is heavy. It's $500 for a scent that I have a hard time justifying for it. Like I said, I'm not going to go ahead and purchase this scent. If somebody else purchased it, I wouldn't say like, oh, you got ripped off or anything like that. But I wouldn't say anything negative on that. But if somebody was asking me to recommend Creed fragrances, like I said, it would not even crack my top 15 for Creed fragrances. So, it's there. It's not the most original scent. I was expecting something original. I was expecting something Aventus level, if you will, but I didn't get that. So that's just my personal thought on it. All right. So that's my thoughts on Creed's Viking, the newest release. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, send me a message, leave me a note, do what you gotta do. These are just my thoughts again, and if you have any conflicting thoughts, leave a comment down below, all right? Thank you guys, take care of yourselves, you guys have a great day.